When you're developing any type of flow, the number one thing that you want to be able to do is keep it organized. So when you or somebody in your company has to go back into that flow, it's not a chaotic mess trying to figure out what goes to what your screens do, what your update elements do, what all of your resources are doing. You want to come up with something to where you have a naming convention. You want to have some type of system that you've designed either by the company or yourself that you guys can all stick to, so that no matter what, when someone builds out a flow, you guys are all somewhat on the same wavelength of, okay, I can easily identify by the name of this thing that this is what it is doing. So that's something I've struggled a lot with as I've got more and more into flow over the years. And it seems like it's something that not a lot of companies that I've personally worked for or consulted for have had down either. They haven't really had a system to do that. It seems like each person, when they get into a flow, they kind of do their own thing. And that's completely fine to a degree, but if I ever have to jump in and manage somebody else's flow, it makes it extremely difficult for me to try to figure out what's going on. It almost takes X amount of time that you have to put in, right, before you can really start to actually maneuver things around. You're just spending all this time catch up, trying to figure out what the flow does. So to prevent that, I found through Automation Champion one of the best I would say things that I've bookmarked in a while, and it is a Salesforce naming convention. So instead of trying to come up with those names yourself, we already have it here. It's everything that is designed for you within this table. So super nice. What you would do is you literally just follow what is on here, depending on whatever thing that it is that you're either implementing, designing, whatever it is, right? So if you have an element, there's going to be something specific for that element. If you have a resource, a formula, a currency, all these things here, they're already available of how you could name those things. Makes it a lot easier. So what I'm going to do, you can obviously see this here. I'll link this in the comments for you. But what I also want to do is I'm going to kind of take this flow that I built out 2 years ago, and I didn't use that. Some of these look okay, but what I'm going to do is utilize this and update it. So let me hurry and pause this. I'll come back and kind of show you the differences between our resources over here and what our screens and elements are doing. Okay, so I have updated this, and I'm going to kind of show you how I did that. But now we have this to where it is set to our naming convention. So it was named okay before, like we pointed out, but more importantly, if we agreed to this as a team or as a company to go about naming things this way, it's extremely important that I adhere to it as well, so that if one of my coworkers jumps in and they need to edit this flow now, they can quickly identify what components are going to what the elements are doing, and it just keeps everything very organized and easy to maintain. So you're not losing time trying to figure out for an hour or 2 hours what the flow does in the first place because you don't understand the names. So we now have this updated, our get record. So I came to a get record. Very first thing that you want to do is jump back over to our naming convention, and I'm just going to look for get, right? And I'm going to look for it. And this brings us to get records. So for get records, if we are just getting one object here, I was looking at this one, sorry. We want to name it, as an example he has, is get lead or get leads if you're getting multiple, right? So for us, we're getting one account. So if we jump back over, it's get account. Really easy. It's kind of almost intuitive on some of these, that one included. But I updated this from find account info to get account. So we now know it's very obvious. It's a get record. What is it getting? It's getting an account, right? And then we move on to the next one. The next one is a screen. So same idea here, right? We're going to go to screen, type that in with Command F, and I'm going to look and see what we have for screen. For screen, it's a short description. So on his examples here, we have collect lead details, collect policy details. So I followed a similar cadence, collect movie details. When you click in, this is what this flow is doing. We're collecting someone's favorite movie and year released. So collect movie details made sense to me. Now what you want to do from here, this one's kind of the next step, which is there's also screen components. So inside of there, what you're now going to do is we're taking the first letter of this naming convention, so CMD, collect movie details. And we're going to use that for the components here. So we know that they belong to this screen. So collect movie details, CMD, favorite movie, and then this is a text text component. So we have CMD, favorite movie, text. This one down here is the same thing, which is CMD, year released, text. And what that is like here, when you're looking at it, really easy, right? It's pretty intuitive. But more importantly, on the side here, this makes things super quick and easy to identify. You have this one over here as an example where we did not update. And although you can tell this is display text, I named it okay, it looks like 2 years ago. It's still kind of that same situation where you're not exactly knowing what's going on with this, right? There's no convention that this applies to. We just know it's some display text for probably the favorite movie, but what it's doing, how it's doing it, we don't have that information there. So as a quick view, when you adhere to these naming conventions, it makes it really easy as well when you're looking on the side of what goes to what and how to stay organized with them. We moved on to the next one. This one's for an assignment. Same thing, right? And I don't think I need to go through all of these with you because they're all here, but you would literally just Command F for each one of these and just see what the example is. They have set account fields. Ours was multiple fields as well. We literally did the same thing, set account fields. This one down here, pretty intuitive. Update records, update the account. So just a really easy way to stay organized. Hopefully this was super helpful. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments below or check out my website for all the details on this video.